Hello wonderful zine friends, my name's Chloe Henderson and welcome to Coin-Operated Press. Today's video is a wonderful chance for you to get to know Coin-Operated Press better. On the 20th of May we celebrated our first birthday, which was super exciting, and to celebrate we put together a virtual zine fair online on our website. And it's been running from the 20th of May and it's going to end on the 20th of June. So of course Coin-Operated Press is one of the stallholders in the zine fair. So on our socials we put out Ask Us Anything, and you could send in your questions on our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatnot. And you guys were great and sent us a bunch of questions. So today myself and Katie are going to sit down and answer all of your questions.
Thank you so much for celebrating our first birthday with us. I can't believe that it's been a whole year already since we launched Coin-Operated Press. Thank you so much for all of your support this past year. We're really excited to see what adventures we get up to, especially now that we're coming out of lockdowns and things.
But before we dive into the questions, I want to tell you a little bit about Coin-Operated Press and all of the wonderful things that we achieved last year, or this year, in our first year. I can't believe that we decided to start this little adventure that we've been talking about for such a long time. I've been friends with Katie for ages now. I don't know how long it's been, but like 5 years or something like that. And we've talked about zines for a while, and we did a few zine fairs together. We always sort of talked about starting our own little art collective venture thing, and it was just talks for such a long time. So to actually sit down and be like, this is a thing that we're gonna do, was so exciting. And the fact that it happened in the middle of a pandemic across the void of the internet over Skype was just, yeah, amazing that we managed to make this thing happen and make it work for a whole year, and hopefully a lot more years to come. I think it took us a little while to settle into our roles as Coin-Operated Press and to figure out exactly what we wanted. Doing meetings together over Skype, we were always throwing ideas out and being like, we could do this thing and all of these things, and I think we very much do that. We're very much ideas people and come up with things all of the time, and actually realising that we wanted to make zines and wanted to do zine fairs and wanting to do workshops was all super exciting. But obviously in the middle of a global catastrophe it was a little bit difficult to actually figure out what we wanted to do. So we started with the zines, and making the collaborative zines is such a big part of what we're doing as Coin-Operated Press, and they're so much fun. I really love editing the zines together, getting all the submissions from you guys. They're so amazing, and we've been overwhelmed by the amount of support that you've shown for our zines so far. It's been fantastic. Selling them and making them is so much fun, and I'm so grateful for you guys for supporting us along this way so far. And I really hope to continue doing these in the future as well, and hopefully now that stuff is starting to open up, we're going to be able to do our workshops and our zine fairs and our events and all the other wonderful ideas that we've had so far. So yeah, keep an eye on Coin-Operated Press because we'll be coming into the real world very, very soon. I've really enjoyed our virtual birthday zine fair so far, and I think it's a fantastic way to celebrate our first birthday. I really enjoyed putting together the website and editing together all of the stallholder tables and making it look as good as I could possibly make it, and I'm really proud of how it turned out. I think we managed to put together a really good virtual fair, and if you haven't checked it out already, there is a link down in the description below to check it out. It's going to be up until the 20th of June, so be sure to check it out before it disappears. It's been really great, and we've had an amazing amount of stallholders this time, and all of their work is fantastic, and I am now skint because I ordered so many zines from all of our stallholders. And it's been a really fantastic to be able to run the social media during this time. So each day we've had a stallholder spotlight, and I've put out the interview from each of our stallholders, as you've hopefully seen if you follow us on our social media accounts. And I've been sharing all of the posts about all of our different stallholders, and just the amount of talent that is in our little fair is amazing, and I really hope you've enjoyed being able to get to know all of our stallholders. And again, if you haven't checked any of that out, all of our social media links are down in the description below, so do head over there, follow us on all of our socials, and check out all of the amazing stallholder posts that we've been putting out. And don't forget to check out their interviews as well, which is on our website. And again, I'll leave that linked in the description below, and you can check out all of the amazing interviews and get to know all of our stallholders. It's been so much fun doing this fair, and I can't wait until we can do fairs in real life, in person. So yeah, stay tuned, be sure to follow us on all of our socials, and be excited to hopefully meet us in real life in the not too distant future.
So it's taken us a little bit longer than we anticipated getting this Ask Us Anything out to you. On our first birthday launch, we were both in Edinburgh. I stayed at Chloe's house while we launched the zine out to the world, and we both got colds from babysitting children. So it's taken us a little bit longer than we thought to be able to sit down and answer all these questions for you. We're still a bit stuffy. I think Chloe's still struggling with her cold as well, so do bear with us if we're a bit like congested and stuff, but we'll do our best. I've got this flower pot of questions that I'm going to answer for you. So the first question I have is, what zines do you like to read? I like a variety of zines. I mostly pick zines for the artwork, a lot of artificial womb zines. I like Drawn Poorly and Femme Filth Press zines. They're really cool. Especially love Femme Filth Press for all the bright sparkly colours that they use. But in terms of content, I really like themes that deal with chronic illness, mental health, disability awareness, things like that. And also I like music zines. That's kind of where I got my start in zine making, was through the punk scene. And filmmaking zines. I recently got a zine from New Zealand about like an extra's perspective of working on the Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna do a zine review about that soon, so do keep your eye out, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that will be coming very soon. I really loved that zine.
And in short, all of them. There are very, very few subjects of zines that I won't consider, and I am very much a collector, so I will just take anything and everything. But I've picked up a little collection of, or a little selection from my collection of zines that I like, so I'll go through a few of them and talk about some of the zines that I like. So first, I've picked up this Watercolor Girls by Sibylline Monet. I really like illustration zines and zines that show off like portfolios almost of different artists. As an illustrator, I really like being able to look at other artists' work, so having zines like this where you can see, oh, dropped the business card there, where you can see all of their artwork and you can just see all of the illustrations that they've done, and there's like little bits of information. I really love zines like that. And I have another one here which is a little bit more fun, which is all about axolotls, and it's like a little storybook, but again like a little collection of illustrations, and I think it's really beautiful. And I've also got this one from Sean Dempsey, who was in our last zine fair for Christmas, and this is a little comic book zine with no words, it's all just images. And again, I just really love zines that are unusual and have different formats to what you'd expect, and showcase illustrators and artists. And again, with this one by Sean Dempsey, I really like the illustration on the front, and then we've got the written poems by Mel Dempsey inside. I love poetry zines, so having this like collection of illustrations and poetry together is just really beautiful. And as you may already know if you're a follower of this channel, I love a good poetry zine, and my favourite is Cough Drop Circus by Caw and Paw. I love this zine so much, so do check out my zine review for this. It's on the channel. I'll leave it linked in the description below and up in the iCards. I also really like collab zines, which is why we make so many of them for Coin-Operated Press. This is one that I really love. It's called What's the Time, Mr. Wolf, and I just think it's so beautiful, and it's like very cottagecore. It's got that aesthetic going on. And yeah, I really love collab zines. I like the chance to be able to see different artwork and different people that I wouldn't necessarily normally find, and you just discover them in zines, and it's a good chance to see like lots of different artists all in one place and see like their work all in one theme. So I've got this other one from Hysteria, which both myself and Katie are in, but again another one where it's There's Katie's piece there actually. Another one where it's all different people talking about the same theme, and yeah, I really love being able to discover people's work through zines like this. And going from Hysteria, which is a great feminist zine, we've got this one from Gears for Queers, and I love myself a feminist zine. It's a great way to educate yourself on different topics, and this is one by, yeah, Gears for Queers, as I said, and one that I hadn't really thought about in any great detail, but reading through this zine, it was so interesting, and yeah, zines are a fantastic source of education. And then moving on from that, we've got this one. Oh, I just dropped all my zines on the floor. We've got this one by one of my friends, Brooke. Oh, I'm not sure what name she's going by now. I think Nevada Rose is her artist name. But this is a perzine that she's made, and I really love perzines. I think they're fantastic expressions of art, and I love reading people's perzines. They're one that I've never really made myself, but would like to start getting into, maybe as a form of journaling. Making zines like this I think would be fantastic fun, so yeah, maybe in the future CoinOp will do some form of perzine collaboration type thing. That would be good fun. So that's a little snapshot of some of the zines in my collection, and sorry if that was a little bit rambly and quick, but there are so many zines and I wanted to fit them all in. And there's so many different zines that I love, and I think the best way to see the zines that Coin Operated Press loves is to check out our zine reviews. We're going to be doing at least one a month, so check it out on this channel and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of our zine reviews, because you'll see all of the zines that we love.
This next question. How do you combat rage at your printer while making zines? We outsource our printing is the simple answer. Coin Operated Press, because we tend to print large batches, we tend to outsource our printing.
Ooh, good question. How do you make your zines? So first off, we have our submission process. So we'll put our call for submissions and people will submit. And we've recently started using Google Forms, which is so much easier for us to be able to collate all of the submissions together. So yeah, we have our call out that goes out, and then myself and Katie will sit down and over Skype we'll go through all of the submissions and make up a final list of everyone that's going to make it into the zine. We get so many submissions that unfortunately we can't include everybody. And we have our little list of all of the people that have made it in, and then I will sit down for a few days, about a week it normally takes me to finish a zine, and I will edit together the zine on Photoshop. So I'll take everybody's submissions and I'll use bits of artwork that I've made for the little embellishments that we put into our zine, and I'll make the cover and put together all of the information, and then we'll have a little meeting at the end of that. Myself and Katie will go through the zine, make sure everything is perfect, and we will send it off to the printers. And that is, in very, very simple terms, how we make our zines.
Oh, this is a good question. Did you have a goal in mind when you created the company? Well, me and Chloe are both weird art people, always have been, and so I think we always knew that we wanted to work in the arts in some capacity. I did my master's in arts management and Chloe did her master's in jewellery design. So we're kind of in the vague area that we studied, but I think that starting a zine company, it was really important that it was zines, because it meant that we could make a really accessible art form. It could support a lot of different artists and writers and contributors who submit to our zines, and also we work with different ideas and themes with every zine that we do, so we're never like boxed in with any particular thing. I know, like, I used to work in the theatre and I managed a theatre, and that was like very broad. I did a lot of things in that role. Chloe is an artist and she works on a lot of different styles and a lot of different projects. I think that we never wanted to feel stuck, so zines really gave us a good outlet to make sure we were always honing our craft and making different things, and making an accessible thing that we can give to you as well was very important to us.
So why and how did you get started? So the how is quite easy to answer. I personally discovered zines through Artificial Womb, and I submitted a piece of my artwork into that zine, and I was sent a copy of it, and from there I just fell in love with zines and went to a bunch of zine fairs and got really obsessed and started making my own zines. This is my very first zine that I made when I was at, or just finishing in Dundee at Duncan of Dargiston College of Art, and this was just made as I was going off to do my masters at the Birmingham School of Jewellery, and this was my first ever zine and I'm really proud of it. And there's only a few copies left, but I still have a few copies in my shop if you want to grab one. And from here I just became obsessed, and now I have lots of zines that I've made. And then when I met Katie, we both very much aligned on the art front, and we did a few zine fairs together, and it just sort of started from there. We'd been talking about doing our own art thing for such a long time, and then during the pandemic we suddenly decided that we're just going to start it. We were just going to do this thing, and then coinoperatedpress was born, and we launched with our first ever zine, which was our quarantine, and we're super proud of it. And that's how we got started, and we've sort of come full circle because we're now doing a collab with Artificial Womb, which is really exciting. So yeah, that's really nice that it's come round completely.
Next question. This is a really nice question. Thank you to whoever submitted this. Where did the two of you find the energy to do so much work for the zine community? I'm glad that you, that's very nice of you to say. We do work very hard on coinoperatedpress, and I am really happy that that comes across to everybody. Honestly, like, sometimes we just don't find the energy, and I think that that's really important to acknowledge, because I have a chronic illness, and Chloe also has health issues and mental health issues, so it was important that we could make our own hours, and we're very good like how we work together in that we just when we're feeling burnt out, we allow ourselves to take a couple of days off. If I'm struggling with chronic pain and I need to rest, Chloe will be there to pick up and do some more work, and vice versa. If Chloe's having a blah day, then I'll do more of the heavy lifting. And I think that, you know, yes, we're very passionate about the work that we're doing. We do have the energy to do the work, but I think it's important to acknowledge that we do have down days as well, and sometimes some days you just don't want to do any work, and it's learning that it's okay to not work constantly and to take breaks when you need to, so that you can come back feeling refreshed and energized to make a brilliant product, you know, after you've rested.
I suffer from clinical depression and a variety of anxiety disorders, and Katie suffers from chronic illnesses as well. So the fact that this question is phrased as "where do you find the energy" is something I find quite amusing, because I think both myself and Katie very much struggle with energy levels and trying to maintain like work-life balance and like life-illness balance, and just trying to get through all of the random nonsense that is chronic illnesses and mental illnesses. So actually this comment is so nice to receive, or this question is so nice to receive, because it makes me realise that actually we are doing a really good job, and I'm glad that you see the energy that we're putting into the Zine community, because it makes such a difference to know that, because sometimes I definitely get myself into a little pit of despair, like, oh my god, I'm not doing enough work, and I'm a terrible person, and blah blah blah. So yeah, thank you for this question, I really appreciate it. I think in answer to it, the zine community and the arts community in general is so important to me, and has become such a fundamental part of my life, especially within the zine world, because I feel like I've found my people. And I know that sounds really cheesy, but definitely the zine community is so welcoming, and just all of the things that I feel are found within the zine community, and there are definitely lots of people with similar ideals and thoughts, and I just really like the fact that all of the little niche things in the world are covered within zines, and we can talk about anything and everything, and that's why myself and Katie are so into the zine community and want to do as much as we can for, yeah, this little slice of the world that we're carving out our little niche into with Coin-Operated Press. I hope that answers your question. It was a bit rambly.
I'm really enjoying answering these questions. Thank you so much to everyone for submitting. Excuse my lovely flower pot / candle holder. There's a few more questions. I think this one's quite a long one. Let's see. What goes into setting up an organisation like Coin-Operated Press? Do you work full-time on Coin-Operated Press, or do you have additional jobs? So at the moment, we both solely work with Coin-Operated Press. Chloe does her own artwork as well. I, for health reasons, stopped working at the theatre, and then the pandemic happened, so I haven't gone back to full-time work, and I don't really think that I want to go back to full-time work. I'm hoping that Coin-Op can grow and this can become our regular job. Right now the company just sustains itself, and any money that we make goes straight back into the company, but hopefully one day, you know.
What's the next zine you'll be working on? So we have just put out a call out for our Pride Poetry zine, and the deadline is this weekend at the time of filming, and we're hoping to have that come out by the end of June, start of July. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I'm really excited for it. We wanted to do a zine in celebration of Pride Month. Both myself and Katie are members of the alphabet people, so we really wanted to celebrate our pride and make a poetry zine. We've not done a poetry zine for a while, and I feel like this is a really good excuse to make one. So I'm really excited to go through all of your queer poetry this weekend with Katie in our submission session meeting, and start editing it together next week. I really love editing the zines together. It's definitely the favourite part of my job. So yeah, I'm super excited for that, and stay tuned for our Pride Poetry zine. It's coming out very, very soon.
Do you both work on different jobs at Coin-Operated Press, or do you do a bit of everything each? In general, there is a nice divide in what we both do, but there is some overlap as well. So Chloe's definitely the artistic one out of both. We're both artistic, but Chloe studied art, and she makes all of our call outs, all the graphics for anything that you see on our socials are all designed by Chloe. So she focuses more on making the art side. She puts the zines together and makes all the call outs, things like that. I do a lot of the admin and like the finances and operations calendar, and I'm the one who is more often than not answering emails and sending out emails. But there's also a lot of overlap, so when we have call outs, we'll have a Skype meeting to go through everyone's submissions, and yeah, we're very collaborative, but we also know where our strengths lie, so we play to those strengths. And in terms of setting up the organisation, I think we had a period of like 1 or 2 years when we were talking about doing something together. Chloe's my best friend, and we're very, very similar, have the same sensibilities and interests and hobbies and things, so we always knew that we wanted to work together, but we weren't really sure exactly on what. So we spent like a year or two brainstorming and figuring out what we wanted to do and how we would do it, and then it kind of probably took like 6 months after we decided that we were doing zines to actually launch the company. We did it during lockdown, and we both live in different cities, so all of the organisation always is via Skype meetings and like Facebook Messenger. So that's been interesting, and any time that we can get together is always exciting. I think the most important thing when you're first setting up a company is just communication. Always, like throughout the time together with Coin-Op, we've been really on top of communicating with each other, and things evolve. as the time goes on. We're a very different company, and we run the company very different to how we did in the beginning, but that just comes with experience and honing our skills and finding out like what your strengths are. Chloe has different strengths to what I have, and we actually work very well together in that regard as well.
The next question is fantastic. Can we see more pictures of Thor? Of course you can. I will stick in some clips just now and you can have all of the Thor content that you want.
This is very sweet. Thank you to whoever sent this message. What's your motivation for being such positive, intelligent, creative women? Well, thank you so much. I think that, I mean, I grew up in a creative household and was raised to be like, you know, embrace my creativity anyway. And I've always worked in the arts, that's what I've gravitated towards. I think in terms of setting up a company and putting ourselves forward, it was really important for us to like raise up voices of creative women and, you know, non-binary LGBT people, because that's the community that me and Chloe are both a part of. And it's just important to acknowledge that community and give a voice to people who often don't have that voice. And the zine community kind of overlaps with the LGBT community as well, and it's where we've found our people.
So what has been your favourite zine that you've made and why? That is a tough one. I love all of our zines and I love them all for very different reasons. I think if I had to pick just the one, I would go for the relationship zine. And I'm not really sure of the reason why. I love the cover, I love how that turned out. I think just so many of the pieces in the zine definitely resonated with me. And I remember a lot of them sort of in the forefront of my mind. So I think, yeah, the relationship zine is my favourite one, and it's just because of the content of the zine. I think that's the best way I can describe it. I just really resonated with a lot of the pieces that were in it, and I like the cover. I like a bit of a rainbow and some hands, and yeah, this zine is my favourite. I would highly recommend checking it out.
I have one more question in here. Let's see what it is. Oh, this is a good question. When are you planning your first events now that lockdown restrictions are easing? We're really excited to do like in-person events again. We met with a space last summer when restrictions were easing, and we were all raring to go, and we'd booked our first one in the calendar, and then lockdowns happened again, so we had to cancel it. We wanted to do an event this July, but I'm getting married at the end of July, so we figured that we would kind of have a chilled out July so that I can focus on wedding stuff. We wanted a good amount of time to announce an event and do enough promo for it and gather some materials and things like that. So hopefully around Christmas time, beginning of December, just in time for Christmas. Might be really cool to put on an event. We're hoping that we can launch our first in-person event with a gig, get some bands playing, and then have some zine tables happening at the same time. We're both really inspired by the film Moxie, so we want to go for that kind of vibe. But you know, I've worked in events my whole life really, and worked with bands since I was like 16, so I really want to work with some musicians and maybe like do an open mic night with poets and drama and music and things like that. Hopefully December would be really nice time to launch, or maybe Halloween, something like that. We're hoping by the end of this year we will have done our first in-person event, but do keep your eyes out on our social media.
Oh, good question. When are we planning on doing zine fairs in person? So with the state of things at the moment, we're not 100% sure, can't say for certain, but hoping to do some form of in-person event in August, fingers crossed. And our hopeful first ever zine fair in person will be around Christmas time. That is, yeah, our plan to try and get one by then. Very, very hopeful that lockdown restrictions will be lifted enough by then for us to be able to do it, and I think it's a good aim to be able to do one at Christmas time. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled if you're in the Scotland area. Hopefully you'll be seeing us soon for a zine fair in person. I'm really, really excited to do zine fairs in person, and I hope our Christmas one happens. So yeah, fingers crossed, and yeah, I hope that we'll see you around Christmas time. Thank you so much for sending in your questions for this Ask Us Anything, and if there's anything else you want to know about coinoperatedpress, do drop us a comment down below and we'll answer all of your questions in the comments, and hopefully we'll be doing another one of these again, so do be sure to follow us on all of our socials and you can ask us more questions in the future.
Thank you so much for all of those questions. I had so much fun answering them. And yeah, if you have any comments, please do put them down below. If you want to send us a DM, either here on YouTube, on our Instagram, Facebook, wherever you can find us, and yeah, we can keep the conversation going. Thank you so much for all of your support this past year. We really, really appreciate it. Setting up a company during a pandemic, and I feel like I've said this so many times, but it's been strange and it's been difficult at times, but knowing that it's working and knowing that we have all of your support has really kept us going. So thank you so much. If you want to support us, we do have a Patreon, and I'll leave the link below. The money from that allows us to print our zines and eventually put on in-person workshops. We're also on Discord. There's a lot of good chat there, especially in like the art club and the general chat book club kind of thing. So you can join us on there. We did like an eco-friendly mini zine make on Discord that was really fun, so I hope to do more of those in the future. Our Discord link will be in the little box below this video. We're also on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter at coinoperatedpress, and you can give us a follow on there and share in all our adventures. Thank you so much for all of your support, and thank you for listening to all of my ramblings in this video. And please do like, comment and subscribe to this YouTube video and the whole channel in general. And yeah, I'm looking forward to making more videos for you soon, and keep an eye out for our zine reviews that's coming soon. Bye.